Alright, let's run it back. We have read all of the International Booker shortlist on this channel, and I would like to rank it just quickly and talk about my general thoughts on the prize this year and who I think is going to win as well. Before we rank the shortlist, I'll just point out two books on the long list that I think should be here that aren't, those being Hunchback and Solenoid. I actually was not that shocked when I saw that Solenoid was not on there. I just had a feeling that it wasn't going to make it. It really was the odd one out on the long list as a whole, and I just felt like it would be something the jury would do to make people go, what? They did that? Whereas I thought Hunchback was an absolutely brutal snub. It totally deserves to be here. It should be winning, but alas, it's not. And we have a shortlist that I think on the whole is actually quite middling. There's, I think, two standouts on the shortlist this year that I think deserve to be here and I thought were pretty good and I got a lot out of, but the rest I found really middle of the road and definitely not the ones that stood out to me on the long list at all. But anyway, let's just punch through them from bottom to top. Here is my ranking of the shortlist for this year. At number 6, I think the worst one on the shortlist is Heartlamp. Heartlamp is the most recent review I've got on my channel. I thought that this book was really painful and difficult to read. There were an endless amount of character names that made it impossible to identify any particular arc or even what's happening. The translator speaks down to you and deliberately doesn't translate words in their effort to try and, hey man, get you to learn a new word in another language, man. And I found for the amount of effort I was putting into reading and understanding the book, I found it completely unrewarding. I do respect a lot of the background of this book, and I don't hold anything against this author, but I think that this book of short stories in general is not something I'm going to remember, and I had quite an unpleasant time reading this. I'm so sorry. At number 5 on the list, we have A Leopard Skin Hat. This book is a little bit repetitive, very boring, and you could do anything else with your time rather than reading this. Again, I am so sorry. I still love that one line where the author compares pain to an insatiable diplodocus or something like that. That's a legacy-defining bar there. The next book, number 4, is On the Calculation of Volume, Volume 1. Me not being able to remember anything about this book immediately places it higher than 2 other books on the list. But I have warmed to this book a little bit while I think about it, and I do want to go back and read some of it again, because I feel like I didn't give it enough credit. I still, the core of what I thought remains the same. I still think that for a book that has the focus in the place that it does, it should be doing more and changing more, and I cannot possibly fathom how they fill another 6 books with the same concept. But even though I didn't predict it for the shortlist, I'm not surprised it's there, and people are really loving this one. It's just not for me. Sorry about that. At number 3 on the shortlist, we have Small Boat. This book has a great first third. Fantastic first third. Really, really good. And if you just pick up this book and start reading this, I guarantee you'll probably be hooked. It's great. Unfortunately, I feel like as a whole, the book doesn't go any further than its beginning. I think I've seen a few people have that same take as well. I do love the narrator voice, and I find the whole thing pretty engaging. It just doesn't develop too much, and I didn't find it super satisfying. And number 2 on the list is a book that's really grown on me, actually, and that's Perfection. I think Perfection does overplay its hand a little bit. I think that occasionally the author will say something when they've already shown it previously, and even though a lot of it is show don't tell, some of the showing part is more aggressive than other parts. But ultimately, I think what this author is zeroing in on and what their focus is so admirable and really important, and is addressing something with a very dry sense of humor, and I really loved reading this book and spending time with it, and I think that the author is specific enough that it's a rewarding experience. And number 1, my favorite book on the short list is Under the Eye of the Big Bird. This book is sparse, mysterious, it is always evolving, it has some seriously great moments. I'm not in love with how the book wraps up or the ending, but on the whole, I find the whole thing extremely engaging. Anything in this book that in real life would be super complicated and detailed and technological is treated here like an afterthought. The location is really hazy and ill-defined. A lot of books get called dreamlike, and I never feel that when I read them. This book really does feel like an always evolving dream. I was surprised to see it on the shortlist. I thought it would be too weird, but I love that it's here. It's really, really great, and it's easily my favorite on the shortlist. But it is not the one that is going to win. As I read through this shortlist and I saw what was there, I have realized that one is absolutely going to win, so much so that I'm going to put money on it when the betting market in my country opens again. I don't think it's the one that people are saying is going to win, but it's absolutely going to be Perfection. I have no runner-up for this. Out of the whole long list, a lot of them were characterized by a kind of punchiness and a really modern feeling focus, and this one is the most of those. And it would be a good winner. It would by no means be the worst winner we've had of this, and it would be one that people would pick up because it says International Booker winner, and I think that would be really valuable. I think there's a lot that people can learn from Perfection and see in themselves. I know that I did that when I read it. And that's my pick for what's going to win, and that's my shortlist ranking. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage of the International Booker on this channel. There've been a couple of standouts, and on the whole, I thought that this year was not too bad. We'll do a winner reaction when it happens and when I inevitably win my money back, because I'm going to be right this year. I'm going to be right. But thank you so much for watching. Bye!